welcome to Secret and Girly Creates for a Friday Sews episode with updates about sewing, projects and other exciting things on the horizon. This week I'd like to say thank you for the wonderful reaction to my episode about sorting out my fabric stash and you coming along with me and finding out what you thought about it, and I really loved the comments I've had, so thank you very much for that. Secondly, welcome to new subscribers. It's lovely to have you here. And also, oh my goodness, the reaction I had last Sunday to booking the Southern Sewcial event on the 2nd of September was huge. I filled all the spaces in one day. That doesn't mean more spaces won't become available if someone has to drop out, etc. But I couldn't believe it. I wasn't expecting to fill it in one day. I do have a date booked for November and December, but I'm going to try and get one in October. And the plan is that anybody who wasn't able to get a place at the September one, I will offer them the next date as a sort of a first priority. But I'm delighted with the interest. It shows that I'm not the only one that was looking for people to meet and sew with. If you are interested and would like to know about future dates, over on Instagram there is the Southern Sewcial, Sewcial, and there's also a Facebook group that you can request to join called Southern Sewcial, or you can email me at southernsewcial@gmail.com. So there has been quite a bit of sewing this week, but I can't show you it because you'll have to wait till Sunday. On Sunday is the reveal of how everybody did with their Busy Bee challenge, the pattern challenge, and Christine of Gemini Stitches gave me the Closet Core sepia pants, and you will find out on Sunday A, how they turned out, B, what I thought, etc. So do get ready because everybody will be sharing theirs at 1 o'clock on Sunday. But there has been quite a bit of sewing that I can't show you because of that, but it's nearly the time. A few days afterwards I will release pictures on Instagram as well, so you can see and comment and let me know, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what everybody else has made as well. This week is one of those rarities where I've had to make a list. You probably notice I don't always do that, but this week I needed to. So I have started my fabric shopping ban, which is only pattern fabrics. If you haven't seen it already, my last episode on sorting the stash talks about that as well, and I am now on week 2 of the ban because I actually worked back to the last time I bought and started from there, ever the optimist, making it easy. And I'm going to do 12 weeks. The only thing I may buy in that time is plain fabric, which I need to know what I'm going to sew with it if I'm going to buy it. And apart from that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay strong. I'm seeing amazing fabrics and I just have to keep reminding myself there will always be amazing fabrics. If you haven't seen my collection, my last episode will show you I've got plenty to shop my own stash. And now it's sorted and organised, I can easily go and look and think about what I want to do and plan. This week on Instagram and on my channel I put out a poll about, for part of this episode, whether I should do a tour of my wardrobe or a tour of my vintage fabrics, because I was thinking if I'm not going to have new fabrics that I've shopped to show you, what might you like to see? So if you'd like to be able to influence those decisions, do keep an eye out on the channel part of the community part of my YouTube channel, because I will pop polls and things on there. And if you are on Instagram, I will pop them on my stories so that you can interact and let me know your thoughts too. I have got a bit of fabric that I bought to show you, but I honestly bought this before the ban started. It's the rainbow fabric purchase I spoke about last Friday, and it didn't arrive in time for me to show it to you then, but it has arrived now. So let's start with a little fabric purchase. Here we go. So you'll be pleased to see there is a plain. It is a red cotton gauze. I don't know how to know whether it's just gauze or double gauze because I can only find one layer, but then when I look at it, that could be 2 layers put together. It's quite stretchy, only in that direction though, only in the grain line. So I have started on the plains. I love a bit of red, and I was very influenced by Ruan, the Yorkshire sew girl, because she talks about how fantastically comfy they are for pyjamas. So I was like, I need to have a look at this. I was thinking also like a lovely skirt or a top to wear with my other things. Red goes really well against my face, I think. I don't know. The second fabric from Rainbow Fabrics, and these were all bought in their summer sale where everything was $4.99, and I had Rainbow Fabric points because if you sign up for the loyalty account with Rainbow Fabrics, I think it's just your account, you earn points for purchases. Points make prizes, and I had a 30% discount which went on top of the $4.99, so I got these fabrics for about £3 something each. That in today's market is phenomenal. Now this one, I already know what I'm going to do with this. First of all, I need to show you. There we go. Now I haven't shared with you yet my paintings that I've been doing over the last few years, but this little guy here very much reminds me of a painting. At the end of today's episode, I'll just do a little slideshow of my paintings that you can see. But this little guy reminds me of my nan's budgerigar that she always used to have in the porch. And I think this would make a perfect Donny shirt. I have the pattern. I was really careful and only got, I think it was 1 metre. But for a Donny shirt, that seems plenty because it's really wide. I've already washed it, ironed it, rolled it and stored it in my storage, but wanted to get it out to show you. And then the other one, I was watching Liz the baker that sews the other day, and she bought this too from Rainbow Fabrics. It is a crazy fun banana jersey. It's a nice weight of jersey, and it's quite stable, but not overly thick. So it's got stretch both ways. I thought this would make a lovely Scirocco jumpsuit from Deer and Doe, and I haven't made that yet, but I've got plenty now of these nice jerseys that I thought would make it. And I thought that would be a lovely sort of, like this weather where you want to be a bit snuggly but you want to still feel summery. I thought this would work perfectly for that. Look at my roll there. I love a roll now. Next, let's talk about what I'm wearing. I know I normally do it first. I have a me-made Noar cardigan on. I shared this some time ago, made a matching pencil skirt. This jersey fabric is Constellations, and I got this from, I want to say Pound Fabrics, and again it's just perfectly lightweight but snuggly. I have a me-made t-shirt on. I will put a picture in of my outfit, and I also have a pair of my me-made culottes on. So I've got a full handmade wardrobe on today. And putting this cardigan on today gave me some thoughts about some future sewing. So that's the outfit, that's the shopping, which was done way before the ban started. Let's do next the small channel shout out, because remember every week Christine of Gemini Stitches and myself are doing a small channel shout out, because we feel that us little small channels, that's people under 2,000 subscribers, if we shout out each other, it will help you all to find the other people, and that's probably the best way, because we don't appear heavily on the YouTube front pages, but if we tell you about other people, it means you can actually find out for yourself. So the channel I would like to shout out is Laura of the Carpe Diem Stitcher. She's got the same name on Instagram, on YouTube. I will link her below. She looks like she's been going for about 5 months. I love the title of some of her videos, things like the cozy top. So go over, give her a follow, give her some love, because it's really nice to find new vloggers and see other ideas, and everybody is so different. So there is this week's small channel shout out. Right, let's talk about some plans. I am thinking, as I said, this top here is perfect for in this weather when I want to wear my summery clothes, but I also don't want to be cold. And I'm really not prepared to go in the loft and get the things out in the loft. I want the clothes that I have out to have an opportunity to be worn. So I was thinking, how do I do that without wearing the same old cardi every time? And I'm really sensitive to like wool, and it makes, I don't like it. It makes me too itchy, and I want to be comfortable, but I want to feel good. And this Noar cardigan, which you've seen the picture, I am thinking of making a crop version or cropping this because I think it will be more flattering. I have some, hang on, I haven't got it, hold on. Okay, I'm back. I have some slightly thicker jersey. Now, if you've been watching for a while, you will know that I am a jersey fan. I've made a lot of jersey dresses, but this fabric is not suitable for those. Both of these items were bought in the sale. So there's this purple here, which is almost identical to the cushion behind me. Having noticed a theme, there's a lady on Instagram that I often talk about clothes with. She doesn't have a channel on here, but she doesn't like purple, and I said she and I are going to have to part ways then, because purple's my favourite colour. But I love purple, and I think it might be one of those dividing colours, I don't know, but I absolutely love it. And this is so it must be like a terry, because it's the same as like this on the back, but it is purple on the back. Actually, I'll just hold it up so if you can see that. It is textured on the back. So I thought I could make a Marlowe cardigan. Christine made a Marlowe cardigan in amazing fabric. If you go back and watch one of her episodes last week, it's bright florals. I must not buy fabric. This purple I thought would make an amazing Marlowe or another Noar cardigan, and then great to put over summer dresses. And then I also have, matching this side of the cushion, if we can just take a moment to notice this, look, it's like a theme, not intentional, I promise. This one I thought again would make a great Noar or Marlowe cardigan, and it is definitely like it's got a looped back again. And so I thought they would work perfectly for throwing over my patterned summer dresses. I'm thinking of getting a plain red, a sort of appley green or something that's bright and fresh. I'm not going to get yellow because I've got a lovely yellow knit cardigan which I found in a charity shop, which I'm not sure had ever been worn. But in classic me style, not going to keep it completely plain. I'd like it plain-ish. But what I've been thinking about is this jumper I have here. Now I absolutely love this. This is the sleeve. This is on the shoulder part. And so when, oh, that's the back. It's like a crop jumper, but when you put it on, that's how it looks. But if I show you, that is what is on there. Now this is by a brand called Zilla Kids. She's a Brighton-based small business, and she began life making kids jumpers with initials on, and it just grew from there. She employs other people, she does stock drops, she does amazing jumpers of all kinds. You will have even seen them on people on TV. Denise Van Outen often wears the Queenie t-shirt with the Queen embroidered on Steph's Packed Lunch. They are very iconic. And I was quite devastated the other day. She's having to shut for a while because running a small business is just, it's too much with what's going on with family life. If you pop over to Instagram, she's got an account on there. But her stock drops used to sell out within hours, and I've always loved her products. They're not cheap, but I do love supporting a small business, and I am really sad that for a while they're not going to be available. But I feel inspired by what she does. I don't want to copy, and she doesn't do cardigans, but I feel this feels so me when I wear it, that I want to have a go at doing some kind of applique like this onto jersey. I don't want jumpers because I want these to go with my summer dresses. I don't want to cut myself in half, but I have looked at how this has been done. So when I look closely here, it is zigzag like applique around. So anyway, I've ordered a few sample sort of animally print things, and what I was thinking was, is that on like the sleeve or the front of the cardigan I could do some shapes. If you don't know already, I do love the 80s a bit, and I just thought some cool shapes maybe might be interesting. I don't want it to massively affect the movement of the clothing. I don't know if I've chosen the right little fabric samples to try, but I'll keep trying till I find something that I like. They're my plans, and I will share with you along the way how it goes and if it doesn't work. But watch out for in the future some cozy cardigans to get us through this very changeable summer. Right, let's have a think what else I've got to share with you. That's a bit scary, me getting really close there. I've had another thought. I'm just reading my notes here on what it is. If you are aware or not aware, on Instagram, when you reach 1,000 subscribers, you have an option. You've had to have enough viewing hours as well, but you do have the option to monetize. Now, let's be clear, I've done some research. We're not talking a lot of money, but to monetize, you do put adverts into your vlogs. But I'm not sure if I want to. But if I don't, I do need to think about the winter and how I'm going to have enough light to keep recording vlogs. Right now, right behind the camera there is a window. That's what I'm getting the light from. So I think I want to keep going. I'm loving this and I love how much reaction I'm getting. So I have to think about how do I get through the winter, and that means I do need some light. I've read into it and it's better to have a light that shines on a surface and then bounces on rather than shines straight at you. Or I could just have a bigger ring light. So to fund that, but this is a hobby, I work full time. What I was thinking of doing was looking into a Ko-fi account, which I know some people have. But the other thing I was thinking of was creating some digital resources that, in exchange for a little donation towards me keeping my channel going with things like a ring light, etc., you get something in return. If you feel at any point that you wanted to support me through Ko-fi or with a digital download, let me know what you'd like. I love designing things digitally. I love creating resources. Everything that you see that I do, whether it's on Instagram, on here, I do it all myself. And how to keep going, because I really want to keep going and I really love it. And I went to my friend's wedding party last weekend. She got married in Las Vegas last October and had a party in the UK, as I say, last weekend. And she was telling me how she doesn't like sewing, but she loves watching me, and how much it is like me, the me she knows. And she's known me from before I did the vlog and everything, and it just made me smile. And the other day, someone who I went to a sewing Sewcial with sent me a picture of her dog watching me sorting my fabric stash on the big TV. So I was just thinking, oh my goodness, I'm on people's big TVs. But I love the connections I've made and the way it's helping me think about my sewing too. It's causing me to be really like meditative and thoughtful about it, and I'm definitely doing way more by doing this than I might have done on my journey otherwise. So if you're thinking about doing your own channel or your own vlog, I would say go for it, and watch out, because I'm filming a series of little short advice videos. I'm nowhere near an expert, but I thought I could share what I've learned and researched with other people. So that will be coming out soon as well. Right, let's get to the part that was voted for. Was it a wardrobe tour or a tour of my vintage fabric collection? The voting was across Instagram and my YouTube community page, and it came out just slightly, but for vintage fabric tour. So that's what I will do this week, and I will do a wardrobe tour another time. So vintage fabric. Let's start with, where do I get it from? It isn't as easy as it used to be to find it, and I think that's the popularity of some wonderful Instagram and real life shops who make and sell fabulous dresses with them, and it So where do I get them from? Let's start with that. I do look on Etsy and eBay. I have searched on Facebook Marketplace. I personally have never had success. I know other people have, and I often get very jealous of wonderful finds that people like Emily Retro and Modern June on Instagram find. They have stashes of these gorgeous ones, and I haven't ever found any at Boot Fair, but I'm not a big Boot Fair like regular attender, so you might find them if you attend more regularly. That's definitely a place to look, and you need to be thoughtful about the price, and I know what my price limit is for them. Obviously they're quite big very often because they're either duvets, which is 2 layers of fabric, or a big king size sheet. So if you thought how much you'd pay for that if you worked it out a sort of meterage of fabric, then it helps you to work out where your price point is. But also I try not to look too often because I can always find a gorgeous fabric. Most of the ones I have were bedding in a past life, or occasionally curtains. I don't have one set style that I look for, but I do really love the 70s St. Michael floral ones the best. If you have family who have lived in their homes for a very long time, there's a good chance that one of these is tucked away in an airing cupboard somewhere. So if anyone does find any or know of any, do let me know. I am lusting after some more green. Why do I buy them? Because they're already in existence. It means it's not something brand new coming into our environment. If you want to know more about my thoughts on that, watch my Sewing Lies video where I talk about that a bit more. But let's get to the good stuff. First of all, here's a little video just showing I do fold these rather than roll them. And this is some of them that you can see now on the screen. Because they are sheets or duvets, they do fold like you would in the airing cupboard. Yellow seems to be the easiest to find, sort of mustard yellow, but I do love a purple. What I'm going to do now is show you some of my favourites. Okay, so you may recognise, if you follow me on Instagram or have watched other episodes here, that I have actually used some of them. The 2 of the t-shirt dresses I've made over the last year have had vintage fabric as the skirt part of below the t-shirt. So this, as I say, is a very classic kind that you find, particularly in this colour. Now this one has clearly been washed a lot. It's extremely soft, and when you look at the edges, you can see, I'll just hold it up, you can see a little bit of wear and on the edge, and sometimes you'll open them up and there will be a hole or a threadbare part. This is the other clue that this one's been washed a lot. Look, the label A is frayed, but also you can't read anything on there. I love that actually. I think it gives a different feel and handle than a brand new one, and I don't mind if there's like a little threadbare part or a little stain, because I can pattern place around that, or I can put a pocket there. So these ones, I'm trying to remember where I got that one from. I think this one was a charity shop find. So pretty exciting if you find this kind in a charity shop these days. Sometimes, particularly if you buy it off Etsy or eBay, you can get one in a packet. I have the sheet and the pillowcase. Pillowcases are easier to come by, which if you want to make tops are perfect. And here's what I was saying, supremely comfortable, no need to iron, always looks fresh and crease free. So it does give a stiffer handle to them. And it's 50% terylene polyester and 50% cotton. So this one is still in packet. I will wash it before I use it, but I almost love the packet, and it was aqua. But look at the pattern on that. It's just gorgeous. So they are the lucky finds. But this one, and I think I showed this on a previous episode, this is amazing. Look at the leaves on this. This was still in its packet, but I took it out because I washed it, because, oh, it's purple again. But I just was speechless when I saw this. Look at that. I'm still working out what's the perfect pattern for this. I think an Elodie wrap dress could be lovely, because it wouldn't have much cut. You could really appreciate it, but it's how the stiffness would be around the top. Sometimes where they've been folded, if they've kept in the pack, sometimes you will get a fade line where if they've been, the sunshine has got on them, but this one hasn't. That was an exciting day when I found that. And then sometimes I find curtains. Watch out on Sunday for a bit about that. That's a vintage little find there. And I have talked about that fabric in the Busy Bee reveal. One of the options was a vintage curtain. What I didn't realise, and I'll show you the label on Sunday, but it's from 1979. Someone gave this to me and they said they just thought it was very me. This is clearly a vintage curtain, but look at it, look. That face is so scary. But it's got these amazing, like, look at this squirrely thing here. And then there's books with ladybirds on. I love it. This would have been up in someone's house in the 70s, wouldn't it? And you can tell the age as well by looking at this. Curtains sometimes will have wear and tear along the edge. This one's in phenomenal condition. One pair I found even still had the curtain weights in the bottom. And that, I'm thinking would make an amazing pencil skirt, and possibly if there's enough, matching jacket. But it's just fabulous, isn't it? So that's that one, and that was, someone gave it to me. This one, if you've watched before, you will have seen I made a skirt out of this, a pencil skirt. This has special meaning to me. This is from the 70s, and when I was a child I had the safari version of this, and I remember it had horses on it and a barn, and I've tried to find it. I cannot find that fabric, but when I saw the safari version, it's called Whipsnade. How brilliant is that? When I found this, I knew I had to have this in my life because it's just fabulous. I'll put a picture in here of the skirt I made, but also it's as close as I can get to the one from my childhood. If you ever see a farmyard version of this, it's somebody, Berwick, who was a designer in the 70s, and yes, this is called Whipsnade, and the farm version was called Animal Farm. I'll just fold it out a bit more so you can see a bit more of it. Those animal designs, oh, I love it so much. Right, put that over there. And then of course, who doesn't remember the striped cotton sheets? These are, again, if these have been washed, they are perfect for like pyjama trousers, matching pyjama set, cool summer caftan. Oh my goodness, I've got the Charlie caftan. This would be fabulous in this. Again, you might get the odd threadbare bit if they've been used, but you can pattern match and place around it. But look at this, and they get softer and softer the more they're washed. I remember as a child having ones like this, and when they got a bit worn, my mum making me pyjamas from them. So full circle. And sometimes you can use this stitched edge for the bottom, for the hem of what you're making, so you don't have to hem as well. Good sellers will tell you if there is a mark, and they'll even put a photo as well. The striped ones are the easiest ones to find and buy, I generally find. And then the next one, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. If you're really keen to find these, on places like eBay, if you search for 70s bed set, 70s sheet, 70s duvet, or St Michael's vintage sheet, or Dormer vintage sheet, you will hit the thing. And then if you start looking at what they recommend once you look at one. But if you fancy looking differently, search 80s bedding. You'll go down a whole different route, and you'll feel like you're on the set of one of those amazing 80s movies with like red and greys and all sorts. So again, you can go down a completely different tangent to some of those ones, and I did that, and I found this Look at that. I love the way the red is like almost like a heartbeat pattern and the rest is a stripe. You may recognise this. I put this in one of my summer skirts, and last year that was layers. There was a yellow gingham and that, and this was in there. You can see it is a bit see-through, but it's white. But you could line it, you could do the bodice, or in the summer you might not mind. I managed to get 2 bits of this one, and it has been used because I can tell by the softness again, but I love it. I couldn't believe that. That is 80s in a piece of fabric, isn't it? So if you think that's something you would be interested in doing, start on eBay, look on Etsy, but be aware that some people are only selling cut pieces. Some people, it horrifies me, cut them up and then sell like small pieces of them. So watch out, check the measurements, because on Etsy you may not be getting the whole thing. Do keep an eye on places like Facebook Marketplace. Keep an eye at boot fairs. If you find one in a charity shop, let me know, because they're quite hard to find. I dream of finding a really nice green one, which I haven't managed to find yet. The closest I've got was the aqua. But also ask relatives to dig around their airing cupboards, because sometimes when people got married, they were given things like this as gifts. They stuck them in the airing cupboard, never got around to using it, and it'd be lurking right at the back. If you still have a granny, ask her. Aunties, all of those people, do ask people to dig around. It's something that's already been made, that exists in the system, and just imagine giving it a life as a piece of clothing that you could love and wear. I have a pillowcase from the 70s, from when I was a baby, and there's a picture of me on it, and I still have it, and I will make it into something, because then I can have joy every time I see it. Well, I hope you enjoyed a little tour of my vintage fabric collection, and although it's a collection, I do use it, but I think very carefully about what I use it for. So don't forget, there is the release on Sunday at 1 o'clock of the Busy Bee Challenge, Pattern Challenge, and how everybody did, and you can find out from the 5 of us what you think about, what we think about the patterns, and also you can tell us what you think, like Patrick and Esme, of how they've turned out. I think one of the ladies actually even timed herself to see if she did it in the time. And I will also be telling you in that about our next challenge. You can also go and visit the small channel I recognise. The details are below. And don't forget, if you are interested in the Southern Sewcial, do drop me a message. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you midweek next week.